The story of how America was discovered does not begin with Columbus setting sail in 1492. Instead, it begins almost 40 years earlier, in a completely different part of the world, with the fall of Constantinople. At first glance, the fall of a city in Eastern Europe and the discovery of a continent across the Atlantic may seem unrelated, but history reveals a strong connection. Constantinople was the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, sitting at the crossroads between Europe and Asia. For centuries, it was the gateway for goods traveling along the Silk Road. Spices, silk, and precious materials made their way into Europe through this vital city. This trade fueled wealth, innovation, and competition among European kingdoms. But in 1453, everything changed. The Ottoman Turks, led by Sultan Mehmed II, captured Constantinople after one of the most famous sieges in history. With their powerful cannons and massive armies, the Ottomans ended the Byzantine Empire and transformed Constantinople into Istanbul, the capital of their empire. The capture of Constantinople had enormous consequences for Europe. The Ottomans now controlled the key trade routes that connected Europe to Asia. Access to goods like spices became more expensive, as the Ottomans imposed heavy taxes and trade restrictions. For Europeans, this was a crisis. They could not afford to depend on the Ottomans for the lifeline of Asian trade. This problem forced European nations to think differently. If land routes through Constantinople were no longer reliable, then perhaps sea routes could provide a solution. This was the spark that ignited the age of exploration. Portugal took the lead by exploring the west coast of Africa, searching for a way to sail around the continent and reach Asia by sea. Their efforts eventually succeeded, with Vasco da Gama reaching India at the end of the 15th century. Spain, however, wanted a faster route. They did not want to rely on Portugal's discoveries. This is where Christopher Columbus comes in. Columbus believed he could reach Asia by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. His idea might have seemed less urgent if Europe still had easy access to Asia through Constantinople. But with the Ottoman Empire controlling trade, European rulers were motivated to try risky alternatives. In 1492, Spain agreed to sponsor Columbus's voyage, hoping he would discover a new route to the riches of the East. Instead of Asia, Columbus stumbled upon islands in the Caribbean. While he believed he had reached the outskirts of Asia, he had actually encountered a new world unknown to Europeans. This moment changed history forever, setting off centuries of exploration, colonization, and cultural exchange. When you connect the dots, it becomes clear that the discovery of America was directly linked to the fall of Constantinople. Without the loss of this vital trade hub, European nations may not have felt the same urgency to search for new routes. The Ottoman Empire's control over Constantinople closed one door but opened another, pushing Europe to look westward and ultimately leading to the discovery of the Americas. It's also important to recognize the ripple effects. The fall of Constantinople didn't just affect trade. It also drove Greek scholars out of the city, many of whom fled to Italy carrying ancient texts and knowledge. This helped fuel the Renaissance, which advanced science, navigation, and cartography. These intellectual developments provided explorers like Columbus with the tools they needed to attempt such daring voyages. So in a way, the fall of Constantinople set off two revolutions. One cultural, which sparked the Renaissance, and one geographical, which launched the age of exploration. Both of these came together to make the discovery of America possible. The connection between 1453 and 1492 is one of the most fascinating examples of how history is interconnected. A siege in Eastern Europe shifted the balance of global trade, forced innovation in exploration, and ultimately led to one of the most significant discoveries in human history. If you enjoyed learning how the fall of Constantinople led to the discovery of America, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more History Explained, and share it with someone who loves exploring the surprising connections that shaped our world.